Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome to this new series called the Unlock Drift Tune Showcase on Forza Motorsport 5. I've done this series before in Forza Motorsport 5, and basically what I'm doing is I'm choosing a car out of my personal drift cars, and I will show you all the upgrades I've done to it and the full tune setup as well. So basically you can just copy my whole car and do whatever you want with it. You can change the tune to however you like, or put some extra horsepower in it, anything you want. For this first episode I've chosen my Nissan 240sx because it's basically my main drift car right now, because I'm still trying to get used to my wheel on 900 degree on simulation steering, and a low horsepower car just makes it feel a little easier. So yeah, I'm basically just using this car to get used to the wheel. So this car has about 340 horsepower, so yeah, it doesn't have all that much horsepower, but it feels amazing. It's a really good beginner drift car as well, and yeah, like more advanced users can use it as well, obviously. So okay, let's go to the upgrades. Not buy car, where am I going? Upgrades, there you go. Let's start off with the conversion. Let's go to the engine swaps, and as you can see I'm not using the stock engine. I've actually choose to upgrade the engine to an RB26 out of the Nissan Skyline R34. I don't really have a reason for it, but it gives me the right amount of horsepower for this car right now. So yeah, that's basically why I've chosen it. Okay, so we're gonna put the RB26 in it, and then we're gonna leave the conversions and go back to the engine upgrades. There's only two engine upgrades we're gonna do right here. That is the fuel system. We're gonna upgrade that to the sport fuel system, and we're gonna upgrade the flywheel to a race flywheel. And that's all we're gonna do to the engine upgrades, and that should give you an amount of 342 horsepower. Alright, so that's the engine upgrades. Now let's move on to the platform and handling. For the brakes we're gonna use race brakes. For the springs and dampers we're going to use race as well, especially so we can tune the camber and all that stuff. The same for anti-roll bars, we're going to use race, front and rear. For the I've actually chosen to not use a roll cage in this car or anything, just leave it stock. And for weight reduction I've chosen to use a sport weight reduction. I basically just wanted to make this more like a car you would see in real life, with not that like many adjustments to the chassis and all that stuff. So it's more like a beginner drift car in real life. So that's what you could compare it with. Okay, so let's go to the drivetrain upgrades. We're just gonna upgrade everything to race on here. For clutch we just upgrade to race so we can have some faster shifting. For transmission so we can tune the gearings all separate. Driveline, I don't know exactly what it does, but right here it says it can improve the throttle response, so I guess it does that. And we're gonna upgrade the differential to a race differential, which is a two-way differential. And then we move on to the tire and rims. For the tire compound I'm just gonna use the stock tire compound, because we don't have all that much horsepower, and so the street tires and sport tires will just give you a little bit too much grip, I guess. So stock tires for the tire compound, and then we're gonna move on to the front tire width, which I left stock as well for the same reason, we don't want too much grip. And then for the rear tire width, I've chosen to use 215s in the rear, which may sound really small, but like I could either choose 215s or 255s or 275s, but that's way too big right now. But 255s I thought that was a little too big as well, because again we're not using that much horsepower. So yeah, there's no options in between, so I've chosen to use the smaller tire with 215s on the rear. The rims and the rim size, you can choose whatever you want for yourself. It's really up to you what you want to use, and that goes for the body kits as well. I've chosen to use the stock body kit because I just like that. Yeah, I don't know, I just like the stock body kit on this car for some reason. It just looks nice to me. Alright, so that's the upgrades already. Now let's move on to the tune setup, which we can find right here. For the tire pressure in the front, we're using 29.5, and in the rear we're using 29.0. The gearings, the final drive, I've set that to 3.95, the first gear to 3.02, the second gear to 2.22, the third gear to 1.76, the fourth gear to 1.45, the fifth gear to 1.15, the sixth gear to 0.92. Then we go to the alignment, where we hold the camber and toe and stuff like that. The front camber, we've set that to negative 4.1, and in the rear we're using negative 1.4 camber. The toe, we're just gonna set that to 0 on the front and rear, and the caster, I've set that to 5.9 degrees. Now let's go to the anti-roll bars. 23.44 in the front, and in the rear I'm using 12.16. You might not be able to get the exact same numbers, but as long as it's like really close to it, you should be fine. Then move on to the springs. The front spring stiffness, I've put that to 894.9, and in the rear to 669.1. And the ride height, I've just set that to the lowest you can go, which is 6.4 inch on the rear and front. And go to the damping. Rebound stiffness on the front 5.2, on the rear 4.1. The bump stiffness on the front is 3.5, and on the rear 3.0. Then the arrow, we're just gonna leave that stock because we cannot change anything to it. The brake force, I've left that stock. The same for the brake force. I never changed anything to the brakes because I think it feels fine to me. And then to the differential, for acceleration, it's set to 90%, and for deceleration is 80%. Alright, so there you go, that's my whole tune setup. I've also uploaded this tune setup to my storefront, which can be found right here. I show you guys because it's different now on the Forza Motorsport 5. It's not really a storefront anymore. But what you do, you go to upgrade, then you click the on the setup manager, as you can see on the right bottom of your screen. You click on the, I don't know what button it is called, but it's like sort of a menu button. Anyway, you click on that, then you click on load setup, and then you're gonna click on that same button again for search, and then you just gonna type in right here creator, and when you type in SO Spitsy, I think I should come up with my tune because I've already uploaded it. Let me see if that works at least. Search, there you go, that's my tune. Yeah, so if you want, you can just download it from here, so you don't have to do all the upgrades yourself, but you won't be able to change anything to it if you download it from the storefront. So if you just copy my whole tune from the video, you can just change anything you want to it. So if you want to use more horsepower, you can put that in it. You cannot do that with this tune from the storefront, for example. Alright, so that's the first episode, guys, and I thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, which should be coming out next week sometime. So yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.